What he grinding, man? Another reaction. Got drawn in the cave of tight squeezes. I see what they talking about. I usually be watching a little scary, interesting one. What he be doing, but I never heard of him, Mr. Deepfield. Something like that.
8th, 2008, John Manili, alongside his trusted friends John Valanthan and Charles Reed Henry, embarked on a
never go in no cave called tight squeezes. And water rushing through there, nah, it's over.
exploration of the source of Doodoob's cave, hoping to create lasting memories. Tragically, this adventure turned into a heart-wrenching tale, forever imprinting Manili's name in the cave's history in the most devastating way. Born in 1976, John Manili's life was intense, with passions for motorcycling and scuba diving. His early training days were spent locally.
See, motorcycling ain't cool, you feel me? You don't gotta do all that water stuff, like scuba diving too, I guess, but going through them caves different. People playing with their life for no reason.
It wasn't long before he joined Brighton's British Subaquatic Club, or BSAC, ranks. This led him to acquire a rebreather and embark on specialized training, propelling him into advanced diving groups and exploring deeper, more challenging wrecks.
Like, it's not, like, those caves not meant for people to be in there. It's really not. No space in there.
Rebreather diving recycles exhaled air, removing carbon dioxide and adding oxygen, allowing longer, quieter dives. It's challenging due to the complex equipment management and the need for precise gas balance. Inexperience can lead to life-threatening situations like oxygen toxicity or hypoxia, making it risky for untrained divers. His journey eventually steered him towards the world of cave diving in the UK and France. Parallel to Manili's journey was John Valanthan, a figure synonymous with the pinnacle of cave exploration and rescue. Holding a world record, Valanthan's impact on the field, especially his crucial role in the 2018 Tham Luang Thai rescue, has redefined cave diving over 2 decades. His fearless explorations had written new chapters of these newly discovered super caves. On November 18, 2007, Valanthan etched another landmark of achievement in the history of cave diving by braving the source of Doodoob. He navigated its treacherous depths.
The what? That's what it's called, source of Doodoob.
Overcoming formidable obstacles and laying down 476 feet or 145 meters of line. A year later, Andre Glore and Pedro Bellardi ventured into the cave, laying a second marked line reaching a new tremendous 1,549 feet or 472 meters from the entrance. Their efforts were followed by successive dives, continuously pushing the boundaries.
I don't know how, what he said, like 1,000 feet. I don't know how far it is. Sound crazy though, like, I know it'd be pitch black down there. What if one of your lights go out? What you gonna do?
Ending the cave's known limits to an astonishing 3,445 feet or 1,050 meters. Inspired by these feats, John Manili was drawn deeper into the quest to explore the source of Doodoob.
Why though?
To embark on this formidable journey, he enlisted the support of his friends and trusted divers, Charles Reed Henry and John Valanthan. Together, they prepared to confront the cave's daunting depths, a testament to their unyielding spirit and shared bond in the face of the unknown. The three friends' expedition into the cave's depths would be fraught with danger at every turn. The narrow, shallow passages presented a treacherous challenge, with the ever-present risk of damaging crucial equipment. In an environment where every inch and every second counted, these constricted pathways significantly
They know all this. They know all this already. All this information. And they still decided to do it. For what?
The possibility of a swift retreat in case of an emergency. On the eve of this fateful
Wait, what he said?
Where every inch and every second counted, these constricted pathways significantly impeded the possibility of a swift retreat in case of an emergency. On the eve of this fateful dive, John Manili faced grave concerns from his friends and fellow divers, John Valanthan and Charles Reed Henry. They warned him about the considerable size of his rebreather, underscoring the severe impracticality and inherent danger of using such bulky equipment in the cave's more restrictive and perilous sections. Yet, Manili, in a move marked by recklessness, chose to disregard these warnings, emboldening himself to confront the cave's looming threats with gear ill-suited for its harsh realities. Adding a layer of peril to this already dangerous endeavor was Manili's compromised physical state. He bore the lasting scars of a severe back injury from a motorcycle.
Bro, what is wrong with you? This dude got in a motorcycle accident, back injury. Like, bro, it's like you just wanted. Like, I don't understand. It's crazy.
Incident in 1998. an injury that had not just left him with physical marks but
What?
also persistent limitations.
Ah.
This critical aspect of his condition, often overlooked,
Because then you're going through them tight squeezes and all that.
became a pivotal factor in the events that unfolded. The injury severely curtailed his maneuverability, especially in the cave's tight, unforgiving passages that demanded the utmost agility and flexibility. As the three friends would have to delve deeper into the cave system, the combination of the challenging environment, the bulky equipment, and Manili's physical limitations created a scenario fraught with danger. The cave's claustrophobic passages became a gauntlet barely wide enough to allow passage. Each move carried weight in the hostile underground world, and the shadow of potential catastrophe loomed large over the journey. Beneath a modest 12 by 16 foot or 3 by 4 meter opening, the beginning of the cave plummets to a daunting 5 meters. Divers begin their descent through a vertical crack, or known as S1, leading to the ominous edge of a shaft called S3. The cave's complex layout includes several chimney halls, dropping to a chilling 215 feet or 65 meters. A hazardous passage, widened yet treacherous, lies 541 feet 165 meters beneath S3. The journey beyond is marked by poor visibility, dense sediment, and the challenges of navigating with scooters. The fissure's floor, strewn with sharp fossil-rich boulders, leads to a constricted passage culminating in a disturbance zone at 1,800 feet 555 meters that descends into a steep gravel-filled corridor. This formidable cave stretches over 4,576 feet 1,400 meters, presenting a harrowing...
That's a tight, bro, that's crazy. This real footage? Gotta be.
Over 4,576 feet 1,400 meters, presenting a harrowing challenge to even the most skilled cave divers. The secluded Source du Doubs is an obscure water-filled cave at the foot of Mont Réseau near Meaux, France. It's infamous as France's coldest town, endures brutally low temperatures in winter, contrasting sharply with its intense summers. This extreme climate gave it the name Little Siberia. The cave, a hidden gem in the middle of this rugged landscape, sits at the level of Lake Roquet, a place where silence and solitude reign. Its dense, sprawling forests are a hallmark of the Jura region, adding to the seclusion of the surrounding area. This range also serves as a natural boundary.
Yeah, you getting caught with the ads?
Do you feel a little stressed when applying for a new credit card? Not at all. I use Capital One's pre-approval tool. I wasn't asking you. I was asking them. If you need...
as a natural boundary marking the national border between Switzerland and France. The cave, with its crystal clear waters, is a diver's enigma, inviting yet intimidating, promising adventure but also echoing with the solitude of its surroundings. Delving into the cave's depths, divers are met with a relentless chill as the water temperature stubbornly hovers around 43 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 degrees Celsius. This constant cold forms an unyielding barrier. The cave's waterways carve a complex path towards the rocks, weaving an intricate web that has long baffled even the most seasoned divers. The Source du Doubs has become a siren call for daring divers, drawing them into the depths in the quest for discovery. Yet, this pursuit is not without its perils. The cave has claimed the lives of many who have dared to go too far into the cave. On September 28, 2008, the expedition commenced with John Manili, John Belanthan, and Charles Henry to explore the Source du Doubs. Embracing the practice of autonomous diving, each member ventured into the cave's depths independently, facing the unknown without the aid of a team. The entrance to the cave presented the first test of their resolve. Buried with a cumbersome rebreather, John Manili cautiously navigated the confined space. Every move was measured, as the risk of entrapment in such tight quarters was a constant threat. Approximately 13 meters into the dive, John encountered the upper ledge of the shaft, known as S2. Descending into S2 was like plunging into an abyss. The water turned icy and pitch black, forcing him to rely solely on his flashlights to pierce the engulfing darkness.
It's over for that. That flashlight go out when you in there, it's all over. You're not finding your way back. I hope he got 3. How many flashlights he got on him? Just one?
The shaft's nearly vertical descent tested his skills and nerves as he made his way deeper. The chilling waters and the oppressive darkness created a sense of claustrophobia, the cave walls looming ominously close. Every decision John made carried weight, as a single misstep could lead to a catastrophe. The cave's depths were unforgiving, and the complexity of the environment demanded constant vigilance. The underwater passage was a labyrinth, with each twist and turn holding potential dangers, from sudden drop-offs to narrow bottlenecks that could easily ensnare John. The chilling silence of the cave was broken only by the sound of his breathing and the bubbles rising from his rebreather. As he ventured further, the cave's claustrophobic grip tightened. The passage narrowed, and the sediment-strewn...
You don't know what's down there. What if you run into some like type of animal or something? I don't know, something crazy in that tight space, can't do nothing. You know what's down there?
became more treacherous, with jagged rocks and boulders lurking in the shadows. The cave's environment was a constant battle against the elements. The cold water was sapping his strength, and the narrow passages demanded precision,
Turn back
and
around.
the darkness challenging his senses. Every meter he descended took him further from the safety of the surface, deeper into the heart of the cave.
Yeah, it's over. Like,
As he progressed,
at this point, something happened. You going too far. You going too deep in. Something happened. You got to make it back up quick. It's over.
the cave's features became more daunting. Stalactites and stalagmites formed eerie shapes in the beam of his lights. The water's chill penetrated his wetsuit, reminding him of the cave's indifference to human presence. As John Manili descended deeper into the source of doo-doo, the environment transformed into a more menacing and constricted labyrinth. At 1,056 feet, 322 meters, the shaft's descent became steeper. It led him to an ominous, more giant obstruction hole, its mouth cluttered with chunky, blocky materials. To the right of the shaft floor, a narrow crevice beckoned, leading to an uphill cave passage. This area was fraught with challenges. A significant sediment accumulation resulted in intense turbidity, clouding John's vision and complicating navigation. The water, thick with particulate matter, created a disorienting murky veil, demanding the utmost concentration and skill to proceed. Despite the conditions, John's resolve remained unshaken. The underwater realm fueled his determination with its dark beauty and profound silence. Navigating through the cave, John encountered a passage on the left, a gateway to a further valley-side corridor. The narrow and treacherous passage had been slightly expanded in 2002, yet remained a daunting challenge. With seasoned expertise, John meticulously maneuvered through the claustrophobic route, his every movement calculated and deliberate. The confined space demanded exceptional control and awareness, as any misstep could lead to entrapment or equipment failure.
Yeah, monitoring that's what I'm saying too. He got them little, I don't know what them little things on the side of him. One of those get caught on the rock or something, it's over. Like, it's nothing you could do. Like, I'm like, what they be trying to see in there though? Like, what's so? It's just rocks, bro. It's literally just rocks. What they like the way the rock shape, something like that. It's really that worth it to see it going through all this? Like, I know it'd be taking them like hours just to get to what they trying to see. I'm trying to explore the whole cave, like.
Air supply with unwavering attention. John advanced through the passage and commenced directly below into the shaft floor of S3. The once open hall had succumbed to a collapse, burying its initial 98 feet or 30 meters and transforming it into a treacherous maze of debris and tight squeezes. After covering a daunting distance of approximately 1,821 feet or 550 meters, he arrived at the first major fold zone, a geological challenge marked by steep slopes and unpredictable terrain. Angling sharply downward, the passage was lined with accumulations of gravel banks, remnants of ancient underwater currents, now silent and still. The gravel banks, a labyrinth of natural barriers, impeded his progress, forcing him to navigate cautiously. The loose gravel and the steep incline created a treacherous landscape where every movement could trigger a cascade, altering the cave's delicate equilibrium. As John delved deeper, the cave's confining walls seemed to close around him, creating a palpable sense of claustrophobia. The limited space, combined with the sheer depth he had reached, underscored the risks of his solitary endeavor. His air supply, a lifeline in this submerged world, was dwindling, and he was acutely aware of its preciousness. Adhering to the rule of thirds, a critical safety protocol in cave diving, John calculated his air reserves, ensuring he retained it.
2 eyes.
Eve Online on Mac immerses you in a universe with thousands of star systems like never.
Ensuring he retained enough for a safe ascent. In scuba diving, particularly in overhead environments like caves and wrecks, the rule of thirds is a critical guideline for gas management. It mandates that divers allocate 1/3 of their gas supply for the onward journey, another third for the return, and reserve the final as a crucial.
He tripping. He basically he committed suicide. Basically, like knowing all that, bro. You an experienced diver. You know it take about an hour, probably like an hour and a half just to get there and back. Like what you
Safety margin. The rule is essential where direct descent is not an option.
I repeat to him though, man.
Retrace their path to exit. When diving with a buddy, especially one with a
He don't
higher
be
gas
understanding.
consumption rate, the third is often based on the buddy supply, necessitating an earlier turnaround or
And he
carrying
down
extra
there. He
gas
down there by himself too.
safety. This cautious approach ensures a safe return from these treacherous underwater environments. As he prepared for return to the entrance of the cave, he felt good that he made it this deep into the passages, but due to his air running low, he knew he needed to get out. Retracing his path, John faced the
Now you gotta rush through them tight squeezes. You make wrong move, it's over.
obstacles he had navigated on his descent. Each twist and turn of the cave was a puzzle, demanding meticulous attention and skill. The journey back was as much a mental challenge as a physical
That's gonna
one.
be worse.
Each stroke took him closer to safety, but the oppressive darkness and the knowledge of the cave's hidden dangers weighed heavily on him. The return swim was a race against time and his dwindling air reserves. Navigating through the cave's claustrophobic passages with a cumbersome rebreather presented a formidable challenge. The precariously positioned boulders could easily become dislodged, transforming the route into a perilous trap. John was aware of this, but he continued to push. The end of the S2 section posed a formidable challenge, strewn with large boulders that created a series of tight squeezes. Maneuvering through this section was a delicate balance of technique and caution. The tight confines of the underwater labyrinth seemed to constrict around him, leaving little room for maneuver. To alleviate his struggle, John made a critical decision that would soon escalate into a dire situation.
What you did, bro?
He chose to remove his rebreather.
Wow, you tripping. You way too low to be doing that. Removing the rebreather? That's your only, you can't breathe, it's over.
That, under the circumstances, seemed necessary, but was fraught with risk. Squeezing through the narrow gap without the bulk of a rebreather, he relied on an alternate air source, a bottle he held under his arm. This temporary solution, however, brought its own set of dangers.
A bottle?
The cave's oppressive walls, unyielding and close, pressed in on him, exacerbating the difficulty of his movements. His pre-existing back injury from 1998 further complicated his situation, making it impossible to put on the rebreather again in such confined quarters.
Wow.
Faced with limited options and a rapidly deteriorating situation, John decided he needed to move faster to head back to the surface.
Now you're in a rush.
Navigating the tortuous path with the air bottle tucked under his arm. The ascent, however, took a treacherous turn. Suddenly, the bottle detached from the rubber hose of his mouthpiece, leaving him in a serious predicament far from the cave's entrance. Stranded without an air supply in the suffocating embrace of the underwater cave.
This is literally nothing you know. That's what I'm saying. That's your only safety line for real. You don't got no air. You about an hour away from the entrance. You can't. I don't care how fast you swim. It's over, bro.
If panic set in. In a frantic and desperate search, John attempted to retrieve the lost air bottle, but his efforts were in vain. The murky waters in the tight space hampered his movements, turning the cave into a disorientating, treacherous maze. As the precious seconds ticked away, the lack of oxygen began to take its toll on John. His breaths became shallow, his movements sluggish, and his vision blurred. The cave transformed from a challenging dive site into a nightmarish trap in these harrowing moments. The darkness of the surroundings, the weight of the water above, and the daunting realization of his predicament converged, creating an overwhelming sense of dread. As oxygen deprivation intensified, John's struggle reached a critical point. His consciousness began to slip away, succumbing to the suffocating grip of hypoxia. Isolated and helpless, far from the safety of the surface and trapped within the unyielding confines of the cave, he faced the stark reality of his circumstances. A diver alone in the depths, confronted by the unrelenting and indiscriminate force of nature.
That's crazy, man. He just saying everything. He know it's over at this point. It's about an hour away. He can't breathe. That's a crazy thought.
A dire situation was unfolding in the depths of the source doo-doo-doob. John Manley's diving partners, John Valanthan and Charles, emerged from the cave only to be confronted by their friend's absence. As time ticked by with no sign of John, a feeling of impending doom enclosed them. Concern mounted rapidly, transforming into a tangible fear for his well-being. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, they urgently called for emergency services,
Oh
their
yeah.
minds racing with worry. Resolved to leave no stone unturned, John Valanthan and Charles decided to plunge back into the cave's claustrophobic maw in a desperate search for John. The
He
cave,
probably he probably like way further down than they is. They probably been up there for a little minute.
a silent and unyielding entity, seemed to echo their concern as they reached the path they had previously taken. Their worst nightmares materialized when they stumbled upon a heart-wrenching scene.
What?
John's lifeless body lay trapped under a ledge in the main shaft of the cave at a depth of 85 feet or 26 meters. It was too late.
Oh nah, he made it. He made it like a go way up. They say he was like 1,000 feet before that, so he made it go way up. He just, yeah, that's crazy.
Had succumbed to the dangers of the cave. I want to say thank you for joining me today, and if this story
That's it for the vid though, man. R.I.P. to John. Could have been avoided though, for real.